of Satan's greatest soldiers was King Von.
Game of hip-hop, there was no bigger force to be reckoned with than King Vav the Demon of O Block himself from scaring the hell out of QUANDO, having NAL Chopper confess his ruthless attitude and
I walk from the car, I turn around, and walk up. I see a group, it's like I had an out-of-body experience.
behavior. He was dead, bro. If he wanted you out of there, he'll go do it himself. On Feet by S, he was dead. King Von's reputation spoke for him, as a lot of heavyweights in the rap scene were scared of him. Here are some of the rap legends who deeply feared King Vav. FBG Duck. The Chicago rap scene, known for its raw and unfiltered storytelling, has birthed some of the most influential artists in hip-hop. Among them were FBG Duck and King Vav, two rappers whose lives and careers were deeply intertwined with the city's notorious gang culture. FBG Duck, born Carlton, weakly emerged from the South Side's turb streets, aligning himself with the gangster. The Disciples' music, characterized by its gritty realism, resonated with many who lived similar struggles. Duck's breakout hit Slide catapulted him into the spotlight, earning him a dedicated following. On the other side was King Vav, born Devin DeQuine Bennett, a charismatic figure from the Black Disciples. V's storytelling prowess and vivid depictions of street life quickly garnered attention. His debut album, Welcome to O Block, solidified his place in the rap hierarchy. However, beneath the surface of their musical success lay a simmering tension, rooted in the long-standing rivalry between their respective gangs. This animosity was further fueled by personal grievances and diss tracks, setting the stage for a feud that would ultimately have deadly consequences. Now, Old Duckley Man, a nothing kick with him, man. As the rivalry between FBG, Duck, and King Vav intensified, the Chicago streets became a battleground for their escalating feud. Diss tracks flew back and forth, each more incendiary than the last, as both rappers used their music to taunt and provoke one another. The tension reached a boiling point in the summer of 2020, with rumors swirling about a potential hit being placed on FBG Duck. In the months preceding the tragic incident, the rivalry between King Vav and FBG Duck was at an all-time high. Both artists were at the peak of their careers, with their music gaining traction not just in Chicago but across the nation. However, beneath the surface of their success lay a simmering conflict that was about to reach a boiling point. Then, when we found out she was claiming that what we do on the bus on T, according to the declassified documents, a confidential informant provided crucial information that would later become central to the investigation. This informant claimed that King Vav had initially placed a $50,000 bounty on FBG Duck's life. This revelation was shocking in itself, but what followed was even more startling. The informant alleged that V, dissatisfied with the lack of immediate action, decided to double the bounty to a staggering $100,000. This decision marked a significant escalation in the feud, indicating that V was willing to go to extreme lengths to settle scores. The informant's claims did not end there. They also detailed how King Vav allegedly rewarded those involved in the execution of the hit. It is reported that V purchased custom O Block chains for the individuals responsible for carrying out the deadly act. These chains, a symbol of loyalty and affiliation to V's crew, were more than just jewelry. They were a testament to the gravity of the situation and the lengths to which Von was willing to go to maintain his street credibility. On August 4, 2020, tragedy struck. FBG Duck was gunned down in broad daylight in Chicago's upscale Gold Coast neighborhood, a shocking act of violence that sent ripples through the city and the hip-hop community. The brazen attack, which lasted a mere 12 seconds, saw 38 shots fired, 16 of which struck Duck. His murder was not just a loss for his family and fans, but a grim reminder of the deadly stakes involved in the rap game. And the aftermath allegations surfaced that King Vav had ordered a $100,000 hit on Duck, a claim that added fuel to the fire of an already volatile situation. Mama Duck, FBG Duck's mother, publicly voiced her fears and suspicions, pointing to evidence that suggested V's involvement. You know how devious you got to be for the mother of a gangster to be deeply scared of you. That's the kind of person King Vav was. Up next is Lil Durk, another Chicago rapper who was basically King Von's mentor and brother from another mother. Lil Durk, L. Durk, in King Von's story begins in the gritty streets of Chicago, a city known for its vibrant music scene and challenging environment. Both artists hail from the infamous O Block, a neighborhood that has produced some of the most influential figures in the DR real music genre. Growing up in this environment, they were exposed to the harsh realities of street life, which heavily influenced their music and personas. Lil Durk, born Durk Devontae Banks, started his journey in the music industry in the early 2010 with a unique blend of melodic hooks and raw lyrics. He quickly gained a following. His early mixtapes, such as I'm a Heatah and Life Ain't No Joke, showcased his potential and set the stage for his rise to fame. King Von entered the music scene later, but his impact was immediate. With a natural talent for storytelling and a charismatic presence, quickly captured the attention of fans and industry. Insiders alike, his breakout single Crazy Story became an anthem propelling him into the spotlight throughout the years. Dirk and Von formed a strong bond. Often people will refer to each other as brothers. Because of this, the bond may not be blood, but it feels like one. Sometimes the older person in the relationship becomes a mentor. Lil Durk was older than King Von and a mentor of sorts to him, helping him focus on his music. Despite Dirk being a mentor to V, Dirk was aware of the very troubled past that V had and knew he had to stay on his toes and exercise a level of caution. I mean, this was a guy who was charged with 1 count of murder and 2 counts of attempted murder, just at the age of 20, so he was in jail for 2 murders. Yeah, 1 murder and 2 attempts. I just beat. How you beat that? What you mean I beat? I mean you didn't do it. The friendship between Lil Durk and King Vav was more than just a professional alliance. It was a brotherhood forged in the fires of their shared past. Durk saw in Von a younger version of himself, someone who was fearless and unapologetically real. This connection was evident in their collaborations such as Crazy Story 2, Zero, and all these where their chemistry was undeniable. Both men not only shared the recording booth, but they also shared the court stand. While we dropped that song, we dropped the song, and dropped it like we did the song, and dropped it like a week. We was getting all type of calls. I'm like that crazy. Both Lil Durk and King Vav found themselves at the center of a high-stakes legal battle. Both of them faced serious felony charges, including attempted murder. The charges stem from a shocking incident on February 5, 2019, at the Varsity, a popular Atlanta drive-in, where Alexander Witherspoon was allegedly shot and robbed of his Jeep Cherokee and $30,000 in cash during the probable cause hearing. Prosecutors presented their case while the defense argued self-defense, claiming Witherspoon had a gun. Both men maintained their innocence, and the charges were eventually dropped in 2022. Up next is a name that comes up every time King Vav is mentioned, the man who had a hand in his eventual death. Quando Rondo. The hip-hop scene in the 2010 was a fiercely competitive one. You either get pushed to the side or you rise to the top. Among these rising stars were King Von and Quando Rondo, 2 rappers whose paths would eventually cross in a way that neither could have anticipated. In Savannah, Georgia, Tion Terrell Bowman, known professionally as Quando Rondo, was carving out his own path in the industry, growing up in a city with its own set of challenges. Quando found solace in music, using it as an outlet to express his struggles and aspirations. Quando Rondo's rise to fame was marked by a series of successful releases, including his debut mixtape, Life Be for Fame, in 2018. The project showcased his versatility and ability to connect with listeners on a personal level, earning him critical acclaim and a growing fan base. Collaborations with prominent artists further boosted his profile, and by the time he released his debut studio album, Cut, in 2020, Quando had firmly established himself as a force to be reckoned with in the hip-hop scene. Despite their different backgrounds, both King Vav and Quando Rondo shared a common ambition to succeed in the competitive world of music. Their respective journeys were marked by perseverance and a relentless pursuit of their dreams, qualities that endeared them to fans and industry insiders alike. However, as their stars continued to rise, so too did the tensions that would eventually lead to their fateful encounter. The events leading up to November 6, 2020, were shaped by a complex web of rivalries and alliances within the hip-hop community. King Von's association with Lil Durk and the Only the Family label positioned him as a key figure in the Chicago rap scene, while Quando Rondo's connections in Georgia and beyond solidified his presence in the industry. As their paths began to intersect, the potential for conflict loomed large, fueled by the competitive nature of the music business and the personal dynamics at play. So that night, when you was in the parking lot, what led up to you even being in the parking lots? I know you were sleeping in the car. On the night of November 6th, the simmering tensions between King Von and Rondo came to a head outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta. The tragic events that unfolded would leave an indelible mark on the hip-hop world. For conversation about the dangers of rivalries within the industry as the clock ticked past midnight. On November 6, 2020, the atmosphere outside the Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta was charged with anticipation. The venue, a popular spot for in the city, was bustling with activity, drawing in crowds eager to enjoy the evening. Among those present were King Vav and his entourage, who had arrived to celebrate the release of his latest project. Unbeknownst to them, the night would take a tragic turn that would reverberate throughout the hip-hop community. And go to sleep right by yourself. Boom bam. I walked from the car. I turned around to walk up. I see a group of it's like I had an off-body experience. Quando Rondo, who was also in Atlanta that night, found himself in a precarious situation. Reports suggest that he was asleep in his car outside the lounge, unaware of the brewing storm. As the night unfolded, tensions between the two crews began to escalate, fueled by a history of rivalry and perceived slights. The stage was set for a confrontation that would have devastating consequences. The altercation began when King's crew reportedly approached Quando Rando's vehicle, leading to a heated exchange accounts of the incident vary, but it is widely believed that King Von acted as the aggressor, confronting Quando in a manner that left little room for de-escalation. The situation quickly spiraled out of control, with fists flying and chaos erupting in the parking lot. In the midst of the melee, Timothy Lowe, Tim Leaks, a close associate of Quando Rondo, took decisive action in what was later described as an act of self-defense. Lil Tim pulled out a firearm and shot King Von, fatally wounding him. The sound of gunfire pierced the night, sending shockwaves through the crowd and leaving those present in a state of disbelief. In my head, I'm like, why? Somebody with my little brother, you feel me? It's like that's what really going through my head at the moment when it first pop off. Fast forward to November 25, 2022. Quando Rando dropped a bombshell with the release of 3,868 joint album with NBA Youngboy. The track, Want Me Dead, reignited the feud with its provocative lyrics targeting King Vav and his sister Cabe. The track was a calculated move, adding fuel to the fire and ensuring that the rivalry remained a hot topic in the hip-hop community. Up next, we're pointing the light at the suspected killer of King Vav himself, El Tim, and what led him to pull the trigger. El Tim, known off stage as Timothy Leaks. El Tim found himself embroiled in a dispute that would forever alter his life. The tension was thick as he faced King Vav, a figure whose reputation struck fear into many. As the night unfolded at the Monaco Hookah Lounge, fear and adrenaline collided, leading to a violent encounter that left the hip-hop community reeling. El Tim, born Timothy Leaks, hails from Savannah, Georgia. He was a rising figure in the hip-hop scene. Known for his association with fellow rapper Quando Rondo, El Tim's life was marred by legal troubles. In August of 2020, authorities seized a cache of firearms and 15 pounds of marijuana from his possession, leading to charges of conspiracy to violate the Georgia Controlled Substance Act, theft by receiving stolen property, and obstruction. These charges painted a picture of a young man entangled in a world of crimes, struggling to balance his aspirations with the harsh realities of his environment. The relationship between Lil Tim and King Von was not one of friendship but rather of rivalry, exacerbated by their associations with different factions within the rap community. LOL. Tim's close ties with Quando Rondo, who had his own tensions with King Von, added another layer of complexity to their relationship. The animosity between these groups simmered beneath the surface, waiting for the right moment to erupt. On the night of November 6, 2020. The stage was set for a fateful encounter. The Monaco Hookah Lounge in Atlanta, a popular nightlife destination, became the meeting point for these two groups. As the night progressed, the atmosphere grew tense. El Tim, along with Quando Rando and their entourage, found themselves in the same vicinity as King Vav and his crew. TMZ reported that previous to the brawl, Quando was napping in a car outside the nightclub, waking to find King Vav and his crew angrily approaching him and his associates. There was footage of V throwing punches at Quando Rondo prior to the gunfight. In the midst of the chaos, gunfire erupted, shattering the night and sending shockwaves through the crowd. The sound of shots being fired added a new level of terror to the already volatile situation.
Well, you
pull out and you shoot 4 times. Yeah, the gun jammed. Oh, the gun jammed. Yeah, after the 4th shot, probably like the 3rd shot, it was in this moment of confusion and fear that the tragic outcome was sealed. King Vav, a rising star in the hip-hop world, was struck by gunfire and fell to the ground, mortally wounded. The scene was one of horror and disbelief, as those present grappled with the sudden and violent turn of events. As the dust began to settle, the full extent of the tragedy became. In addition to King Von, 5 other individuals were shot and wounded during the altercation, including Lil Tim, who was identified as a key figure in the incident. Police quickly secured the area, provided medical assistance to the injured, and began piecing together the sequence of events that led to such a devastating outcome. One witness described being shot twice, once in the right hip and once in the glute, with the bullets going in and out. Next up is another prominent rapper, who was allegedly always at odds with King Von, NBA Youngboy. Born Kentrell Deshaun Gowden in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, Youngboy emerged from the streets with a raw, authentic style that quickly resonated with fans. His journey to fame was marked by a turbulent upbringing, legal troubles, and a relentless work ethic that saw him release a series of successful mixtapes. By his late teens, Youngboy had already established himself as a force to be reckoned within the hip-hop world, known for his emotive storytelling and gritty lyrics. As Youngboy and King Von climbed the ranks, their paths inevitably crossed, sparking whispers of tension. People told me a lot that me and Youngboy were beefing, Von explained in an interview. The rumors intensified after Youngboy released Bring the Hook, a track containing a subtle diss aimed at King Von's O Block, igniting a firestorm of reactions from Lil Durk and others in the Chicago rap scene. The song's provocative line, O Block Pack, Get Rolled Up, was seen as a direct attack on a place deeply tied to King Von's legacy. The track did not go unnoticed. Lil Durk, a close friend and collaborator of Von, posted a photo on Instagram, flexing cash and chains, captioned, "Don't claim it if you ain't do it. You still A_." Clearly taking a jab at Young. Von's sister KB also chimed in on Twitter, questioning Youngboy's authenticity by referencing his house arrest. Many interpreted these responses as evidence that Youngboy's diss was a defensive move, an attempt to assert dominance while under pressure, especially given his legal restrictions at the time. Another tragic story in King Von's narrative involves Tuka, a 15-year-old Chicago rapper who was shot dead by Von's associates. Chanel Tuka Gregory grew up on Chicago's South Side, in a community where gang affiliations often dictated one's path. Tuka became associated with the Gangster Disciples, putting him in direct conflict with the Black Disciples, King Von's affiliated group. On a cold January day in 2012, Tuka was waiting at a bus stop when he was killed, reportedly in retaliation for the death of a Black Disciples member. His death was both tragic and symbolic, illustrating the deadly cycle of gang violence that plagued the city. Instead of fading from memory, Tuka's name became a recurring reference in Chicago drill music. Mentioned by influential artists like Chief Keef and King Von, phrases like "smoking Tuka" emerged, blending street slang with grim reminders of his death. For Tuka's family, particularly his mother, Dominique Boyd, hearing these references was painful, a constant reminder of the senseless loss. Lil Reese, a close associate of King Von, also played a significant role in this story. Born Therese Taylor, Reese grew up on the South Side, surrounded by the harsh realities of street life. Music became his outlet, and he broke through in the early 2010s after collaborating with Chief Keef on I Don't Like. Reese and King Von were close, growing up in the same environment and navigating the same streets. Their collaborations, like so many and whoever, showcased their chemistry and elevated both of their careers. Yet beneath the surface, their relationship had a complex dynamic. Reese's established status in Chicago rap was challenged by Von's rising influence, creating a subtle tension between them. Despite this, the two remained close up until Von's untimely death. Reese later recalled how devastated he was when he learned of Von's death, describing the moment his girlfriend broke the news. King Von's impact on the streets and in hip-hop was profound. Loved and hated in equal measure, his fans and rivals shared one thing in common: a deep-seated fear and respect for him. That combination of respect and intimidation has kept his name relevant long after his passing. The legacy of these events, diss tracks, and gang violence is a stark reminder of the dangerous intersections of street life and the music industry, from NBA Youngboy's conflicts to Tuka's tragic death, and the loyalty and complexity of figures like Lil Reese and King Von. The stories behind the music continue to shape Chicago rap culture today.